Hi guys, Michelle here. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, it is just welcome. First of all, I want to apologize for the lighting. If the video lighting quality is not where it should be, I do apologize because I try to film when the sun is like coming through my bedroom windows, but today there's no sun out, so I do have my blinds open and I have my light here and I have my overhead light on and my ring light, but I don't know, just to me it kind of looks wonky, so I do apologize for that. Anyway, today you guys, we're going to be talking about a story that happened in the 90s, and I remember this case very well because of the contents of the story. So yeah, let's just get into it. So Susan Lee Vaughn was born on September 26, 1971 in Union, South Carolina. She had a troubled upbringing. Her parents' relationship was violent. Soon after they divorced, her father took his life. Then not too long after her parents were divorced, her mom married a man who sexually abused her. Susan also suffered from depression, and she attempted to take her life on more than one occasion. So now let's fast forward to 1991. Susan met David Smith. He was engaged to another woman at the time. He broke it off to pursue a relationship with Susan. Yeah, I bet he regrets that decision. They were married March 15th, 1991 because Susan was pregnant, which is not a reason to get married. Now, don't come for me in the comments. Yes, I do believe that traditionally parents should be married first and then have the kids. I did not do it that way, and I do regret it, not having my kids, but continuing a relationship with a toxic person. But why put yourself through all those years of hell if you are not meant to be with that person? So by this point, doing it for the sake of the child may cause more damage than just co-parenting. But that's just my opinion. This is not about me. Look, y'all done got me all sidetracked. Let's get back to the story. So David and Susan were married, but they had a rocky relationship, and allegedly both were cheating. They had two sons, Michael and Alexander. The couple eventually separated, and Susan started seeing a guy named Tom Finley. They said he was wealthy and good looking. Well, not to me. He's not my cup of tea, and I'm not gonna knock no one's looks. I may not be someone's cup of tea either, but if that's what floats your boat, you do you. Now, Susan thought she had hit the jackpot, y'all, but Tom didn't want the responsibility of a ready-made family. He also felt that she wasn't suitable for a committed relationship, and that's his right. I mean, not everyone wants to be with someone with kids, and I see nothing wrong with it, but someone may not want it, and you can't fault them for that. So he sent her a Dear John letter explaining all of this, everything he felt, in October of 1994, and then he sent her packing. So because of this, she became more depressed, and at this point, the wheels in Susan's head, they started turning. She was trying to think of how to get old tomboy back in her life. On October 25th, 1994, Susan left work about 3:30. She was 23 at the time. I don't know if I told you guys that. So she drove to daycare after she left work to pick up 3-year-old Michael and 14-month-old Alex. And so that day she could not get Tom off her mind. She was so upset that he had gave her this letter and told her, I want nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with your kids. Your kids are lovely. That's great for you, but I want no part of this. She drove to a tavern on her way home. She sat in a parking lot talking to a friend. She then drove back to work with the kids, hoping to patch things up with Tom. I don't know about y'all, but if someone says no, and maybe you put your petition in to, you know, keep the relationship going, and they are adamant about no, it's not going to work, move on. Just let it go. And I know some people have a hard time with that, but just move on. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, Tom was the son of the owner of the company at her job. It was a fabric trim and tassel manufacturer. So his dad owned the company, Tom's dad. So when she got there, you know, Tom was like, no, he wasn't having it, and he stood his ground. He was like, no, I don't want this. She left, and she got home around 6 p.m. She made pizza for the boys and the friend that she talked to at the tavern. She called her and asked if Tom had been there, if she'd seen him, and if he was asking about her. She told her that he was there, but he never mentioned Susan. So around 8 p.m., Susan buckled both of her sons in the backseat of her 1990 Mazda Protege. She thought maybe a drive through the country would help clear her mind and make her feel better. So she stopped at Walmart, got back in the car, drove to her friend's house, but they never made it. Now, Susan was found on the doorstep of a neighbor. She claimed she was at a traffic light and a black man with a gun carjacked her. She said he got in and said, "Drive or I will kill you." So she did as she was told, and she said that the boys were crying in the back seat. Then after about 10 minutes, he told her to stop and get out of the car. She said she pleaded with him to let her kids go, but the black man pushed her out and he drove off with her kids in the car. Okay, sidebar. First of all, if you know, you know, number one. Number two, there are some, not all, but some men who don't even take care of their own kids, let alone have to worry about somebody else's kids. Let that sink in. Back to the story. So the FBI was contacted because this was considered a child abduction, and you will see why I'm air quoting soon. If you already know the story, then you already know. So David, the kid's father, he rushed to her side and he said that she was hysterical when he got there, crying and sobbing, "Oh my God, my kids, my kids." And no one had a doubt that this was anything other than a kidnapping. So everyone believed her. So now they're looking for this black man for 9 days. They had sketches up, is that what you call it, composites or whatever, of showing that what he looked like based on Susan's description of him. So at that point, there was no reason not to believe Susan. She was an upstanding member of the community. She was a devoted, loving mother. But as the search continued, the police found that there were holes in Susan's story. Her story changed multiple times. She took several polygraph tests. They all came back inconclusive. And so the police found out that she told a friend just 5 days before the kidnapping, "I wonder what my life would be like without kids." You know, I've wondered that also, but it's because I thought that my life would be unfulfilling if I didn't have kids. If I didn't have each and every one of my kids, my life would be so different. And I don't know if that would be a good thing. So yeah, I've said that also, but she was thinking something else. And I'm sure many of you mothers have thought it also, like, if I didn't have these kids, where would I be? I don't know. My life would have been in a different direction. But yeah, that's a red flag right there. So now this nationwide search is going on. They're trying to find her car and this black man that has these kids. During those 9 days, of course, they continued to question David and Susan. And during this time, they held a press conference and she's crying on camera and asking for her kids to be returned to her.
My babies. Your mama loves you so much. And your daddy, these whole families love you so much. And you guys have got to be strong, because you are, I just know, I just feel in my heart that you're okay, but you got to take care of each other. And your mom and daddy are going to be right here waiting on you when you get home.
But behind the scenes, honey, her mom was on Tom. She hadn't forgot about old Tom. She kept asking if he was coming to see her, which is crazy, because if your kids are missing, I'm not worried about some man come and see me. I'm sorry. That's just, that's the last thing that's going to be on my mind, right? So at this point, the whole community got involved. They put up flyers. They scouted the wooded areas on horseback. They put up yellow ribbons. This was national news, y'all. I distinctly remember this story. I was around the same age at that time, and I think I only had Cheyenne, and my oldest, she's 25 now. But I remember feeling sorry for Susan because her and I were around the same age, and all I can think of, you know, oh my goodness, you know, if something like that happened and my little Cheyenne is in the backseat of the car, I'd be devastated, and oh my goodness, my life would be over, right? So the police suspected there was something just not right about Susan's story. You know, y'all, they trained for this. They can spot a liar. So the questioning continued. When they went to Walmart, none of the greeters remember seeing her there. And the friend that she was supposed to have gone to visit that evening wasn't even home. She hadn't even talked to Susan. After the police kept questioning her about the holes in her story, she finally broke down and told the truth. This is what really happened, y'all. So on the night of October 25th, she had driven down the road with her 2 sons in the back seat. She was feeling depressed, lonely, and suicidal. She drove to a lake and she was planning on staying in the car to take them all out. I don't believe that, but this is what she said happened. So then at the last minute, she got out of the car and watched as it rolled down into the river with her sons in the back seat, screaming and crying. Y'all, I keep saying I'm not gonna do any more stories about kids because it just really gets to me. She gave the exact location to the authorities. Divers found the car 122 feet from the shore, upside down under 18 feet of water. As they were pulling the car out, they seen a small hand pressed against the window, and there the bodies of Michael and Alexander were visible through the car windows. So on Sunday, November 6th, 1994, Michael and Alex were laid to rest in the same casket. The yellow ribbons that the town put up when they were searching were replaced with blue and white ones in remembrance of the boys. The area where the car went down was transformed into a shrine. People from all over placed flowers and teddy bears and whatnot there. And overnight, obviously, the Susan Smith that everyone loved and felt sorry for, she was hated. And at this point, the whole country wanted her hide, especially members from the Black community, rightfully so. So the case went to trial and the state wanted the death penalty. Susan said that she wanted to die so she wouldn't have to hurt anymore. Her defense attorney claimed Susan had dependent personality disorder and severe depression, and that her need for a stable relationship with Tom overcame her moral judgment. I mean, okay, I know everyone has to have a lawyer, you know, to defend them, but sometimes when I research these cases, I don't understand the thought process of these lawyers. They be reaching, y'all. They be pulling craziness out the air, talking out from the side of their neck. It's just crazy. So they knew she was going to prison, but the question was, should she get the death penalty for it? So y'all, this is a whole issue. Real quick, here's what I think from a spiritual point of view. I don't believe in the death penalty, and some of you guys may or may not agree with me. That's okay. We can be adults and agree to disagree, but the Bible says thou shalt not kill, and it doesn't say thou shalt not kill, but if you are the government, you know, go ahead and kill. So would I feel differently if that happened to some member of my family? I don't know, but I know that I am against the death penalty. Keep them in jail. So she was convicted for the murders in 1995. She was given life, but she wasn't given the death penalty. She was given life, but is eligible for parole in 2024. Now, I don't think she should ever get out. She is currently serving her sentence at Leith Correctional Center in Greenwood, South Carolina. David Smith went on to remarry and have children with his new wife. And that, my friends, is the story of how Susan Smith drowned her kids for a man that didn't even want her and that she didn't get. Two little lives that was tragically cut short by their own mother, by the hands of a person who was supposed to protect them at all costs. What do you guys think of this? Have you guys heard about this story? At the time when the story took place, when I was younger, all I could imagine is these little babies being in the backseat of the car in their seatbelt, seeing the water rushing towards them and not being able to do nothing about it and just screaming. Yeah, that's just not okay. And for her to say that she was going to take them all out, no. If you changed your mind at the end and jumped out, why wouldn't you do something to get your kids out? She deliberately tried to get rid of them boys so she could be with Tom, who didn't want her anyway. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what story you would like me to talk about, and I will see you guys in the next video.